Hello children, good morning. Children, today we'll be taking English chapter 5. That means we are starting our term 2, right? So chapter 5 will be taking unit 5, sorry. This lesson name is A Visit to Remember. What is meant by a visit to remember? If we are going out with our family or friends or with our cousins and all, there we enjoy like anything, right children? Especially on a holiday trip, right? Like a picnic, a get together and all. So about your age children and about my age guys as well, they'll enjoy the time with the friends as well as the family. Once we'll get the chance, once in a while we get the chance to go out and explore the other thing rather than our usual things like school, work and home. Right. So after there, after coming back from that particular place, we will be discussing with our. If we are going out with our friends, we will be discussing the things with our family or with our relatives and all. Like what all you did, why it was an inspiration to you all to go there, and what all made you all to remember the things of that particular place, and what all the things, different things like animals, birds, or the food especially, that we will be discussing, right? In this similar manner, in this lesson also, one of the girl and one boy, girl name is Junaida and boy's name is Michael. So these guys went out from foreign. These guys have come from foreign country and they have come to India to see all the different things, our culture and our how the day-to-day life the people spend, especially the olden days, the early people and the what we call the Adivasis, the people who used to live in jungles, how they used to spend their time and what are their everyday cultures and all. Let's take up the lesson. So everyone of you are open in English textbook, page number 5. Michael and Junaida were walking through the streets of Thane. Thane is the place situated in Mumbai. Okay, where? Mumbai. Their guide, Vishwas, wanted to show them something very special. The streets were very crowded and couldn't walk without touching another person. So here they have come to Mumbai. Okay, Junaida and Michael. So they have hired one guide to explain them. I mean, whatever the things are there, they need to explain. Someone have to explain, right? Especially to the foreign people, or especially to the people who are not a commoner or who are not local of that particular state. If we are going to another state, if we do not know anything regarding that, we will hire a guide, right? So, the guide is the person who will explain us about that place and about that culture. So even these guys have hired a guide. His name was Vishwas. So there the Thane place was very much crowded. Okay. And the streets were very much crowded. They were touching each other and walking. So just imagine how much crowd it was. So they were going to visit the Wali tribe. Okay, the place where the Warli people used to live. The tribe means what? The tribal people means the people of jungle or like Lambadas, or in that way. Lambadas are also a kind of tribe people. So Michael and Junaida did not know what to expect, but surely they were excited. So these guys were excited, but they do not know. They do not know exactly about that place. It was their first time in India, and that too to see a tribal art. These guys have come for the first time to India, and that too they are visiting the tribal area, and they are going to see the tribal art and craft. Vishwas stopped the time and again to confirm the direction to their destination. That means Vishwas has started. The guide means they will hire on the timing, right? They'll start by 9 o'clock and end their trip and expedition, everything by 6 o'clock. He stopped and then he decided where to go, what to see. It came as a surprise that the Warli tribe lived in tiny houses, one next to another. It was not a village as Michael and Junaida had thought. They were just on the outskirts of Mumbai. Yet the Wali tribe tried not to be carried away by modernity. They preferred to preserve their uniqueness in the art form that they were famous for. The walls of the huts were made of branches cow dung and earth, thereby providing a red background for the painting. Now, Junaida and Michael were thinking that the people, that means these tribal people, they will be living in the forest and all. But these guys lived in small kind of huts. Okay, it was one next to another. All the huts were one next to another, and it was not a village type. Okay, children. It was like a complete. It was giving little bit of rural, but the people of the Wali tribe, they did not came up with the modernity. Modernity when posh they did not came up with the poshness. Okay, they were still stick to their what we call their cultures and the background. Now their huts were made up of branches, that means tree branches, and the walls were made up of brick powder, and the earthen soil it will be. No, earthen means what? Soil. Okay, the soil huts, red mud huts will be, and on the huts there were many what we call drawings, like they use. They will be putting some dots, mugulu. It will be, no, in Telugu they will call mugulu. So that kind of designs I will be putting. It is very famous. We can see here in Hyderabad in Shilparamam. Yes, children, Shilparamam Botanical Garden. There we can see the tribal art. So now, how old is this art? Michael asked. By seeing the art on the walls, Michael asked to Vishwas. Who is Vishwas? The guide. How old is this art? You will be surprised, Vishwas smiled. New research says that the origin of the art form dates back to around 2500 to 3000 BC. That means before Christ, when the Christ came into the world. Before to it only 2500 years to about 3000 years back, that art was that much old. It got, when the researchers have found how old this art is, they found that it is this much old. Now, wow, incredible. Junaida just couldn't believe what she heard. Now, Junaida was very surprised to know that so old the art was. They saw the wall paintings. There were numerous circles and triangles and squares used in different patterns. So, you all know they will be using I'll try. They will be using some triangular and box and the circles, and again they will draw some triangle, again there will be some squares, rectangles. Okay, this will be somewhat art, and sometimes people will also draw like some kind of these designs. Okay, children, on the walls and all. What do these geometrical shapes denote? Is there any meaning to these shapes? Michael was curious to know. Now Michael asked, why these geometrical design? Geometrical, the triangle, square, circle, these all comes under geometrical patterns, right, children? So Michael asked, why there are such geometrical prints on the wall? Is there any importance of that particular art? Well, these shapes come from the tribe's observation of nature. So the circles denote the sun and the moon. The triangle that you see in abundance is inspired by the mountains and trees. This square denotes a piece of land, Vishwas explained. So what Vishwas came out with this information, children? This shapes is how the tribal people look at the nature. The triangular shapes are telling about the mountains and trees. The square is telling about the land. And the circle is telling about the sun and the moon. So, is there a story in each painting? Junaida asked. So, there were numerous paintings, right? So, Junaida was curious to know about the paintings as well. She asked, what is any story is there or what for this much of beautiful painting? Now, Vishwas was telling, if you look closely, you can see that they all denote some day-to-day activities. Like if you see to that painting closely, you can see that there is day-to-day life, whatever these guys are doing, that is represented in the painting, like fishing, hunting, farming or like that. In the paintings, we can also see, children, that some people are doing farming. That means in the fields or in the crop fields, they will be plowing the field or sowing the seeds or replanting the plants again and harvesting the plants. This kind of activity, day-to-day activities, whatever they are doing, they will be putting in the form of the painting. Even festivals are depicted in these paintings. That means depicted means shown. Okay, and we can understand by seeing that some like if we are seeing one kind of a picture where there is some sugar canes and some one pot is there boiling some rice and all. By seeing that picture we can understand that this picture is related to the Sankranti festival, right, or Pongal. Yes or no? So the nicely the decorated what we call outdoor, nicely it is decorated with the flowers and these all the sugar cane and the pot being boiled with the rice and all. By we can understand that it is celebrated, Sankranti is celebrated in this kind of picture. And if we see any picture where the Ravana is being burnt through one of the through two of the kings or two of the normal people who look like sages, but they are actually who are they? Gods, right? King Rama and Lakshmana. Rama have killed Ravana. That we will celebrate during the which day is celebrated of death of the Ravana? It is Dashara, right children? And if we see in another painting some diyas lighting up, by seeing only we can say it is Diwali. So in the same way these guys also put the painting to represent their own festivals what they celebrate. So what is the white stuff that is used for the painting? Michael pointed at the wall. So they use some white kind of paint to put these all what we call these paintings and all. Right. So Michael asked, so with what these guys have painted? So it is a rice flour mixed with water and some glue. So what is that? It is a rice flour. Rice flour means you know, right? Pindi, biyam pindi. It is mixed with some water and as well as glue, a kind of a gum which will make it thick. They don't use the regular brush that we get in the market. Instead, they use a bamboo stick and chew it on one side to make it flour. So as to use it as a brush. Vishwas grinned. He smiled and said, as we use the paint brushes which is available in the market, these guys doesn't use any brush, but instead they will bring one what we call stick, a kind of a bamboo stick or any other tree stick. They will chew it in one side, which will after chewing the one end will form like a flower, and with that they will dip it into that particular paint and they will paint it in on the walls. Junaida made notes in the book she carried along. She loved to collect information of all sorts. So Junaida, the girl, was writing down everything whatever the Vishwas was explaining. But I see that these paintings have no perfection, Michael commented. What Michael said, these paintings are good, but they do not have any perfection. It is not completely beautiful. Now, what you say is true, Vishwas agreed. Now, Vishwas is telling whatever you are saying that is true, sir. You see, these paintings is not done on a regular basis. In fact, these days the wall painting is done only on the special occasions such as weddings or harvest festivals. That is why you find it rather crude. Now he is telling, yes sir, that whatever you are saying that is correct, because any painting is not perfect, because nowadays the people are painting only on during the special occasions like any festivals or any weddings. That's the reason we are finding the paintings half done or somewhat 90% have done. I find it rather fascinating though. Now Michael is saying that though they are looking incomplete, but they look very fascinating, interesting. Well, thank you for saying that. You can see that human beings and animals are denoted by triangles. The upper triangle denotes the trunk and the lower one depicts the pelvis. Rather simple. Vishwas pointed at the figure on the wall. You can see here another painting when they are seeing. Here there are different triangles made. Okay children, like this. So here this painting is talking about a person. Okay, upper triangle is denoting the body part. Okay, and the lower triangle, the upper part of our body. Lower triangle is denoting the lower part, like pelvis area, below our abdomen. Oh yes, rather like a stickman, Junaida nodded. So stickmans, you know it, right? They will be like somewhat in this way. They will be having very thin body and like a circle and the legs and the hands like a stick. Okay, nowadays there is advertisement going on in the television. On the television it is airing some stick. People are, some stick kind of dolls are displayed. Now coming back to our lesson. Oh yes, they look like a stick man. Now what is this concentric circle of triangular figures? Michael asked. Now next what Michael is asking, what is this concentric circles? Oh, that is Tarpa dance. Okay, there was a circle of people. Some people doing dance holding their hands. So for this he is saying some concentric circle where they are doing something and something is displayed here in middle. All are dancing forming a circle. So that is Tarpa dance. Tarpa is a trumpet like instrument that you see in the middle. Men and women take turns to play it. Okay, one or the other will be a kind of a musical instrument which is placed in between. One woman or one man will be playing this one and remaining will be dancing. As you can see here, they are holding hands and move in circles around the Tarpa player. Note that their backs are never turned to the Tarpa. This circle formation also denotes the circle of life which was added. Now here, these guys whoever are doing the dance, they will never turn their back. Always they will look front and they will hold each other and they will move or in the circle by dancing. So this indicates that it's a nature or life is always going round and round. Yes or no, children? So that's a lot of information Junaida said as she scribbled furiously in her notebook. So everything Junaida was making a note in her book. There is more, Vishwas said. In most painting, the central motif is the square, known in native tongue as chunk. So here there are more. What Vishwas is telling, there are more to see, madam. You can see there are square. Let's see here. Some patterns, square patterns are drawn on some of the wall. So there is more, Vishwas said. In most painting, the central motif is the square, known in native tongue as chalk. These squares are known as chalks. There are two types of chalk, Dev chalk and Lagna chalk. Inside the Dev chalk, you can see a figure known as Palaghata, the mother goddesses. She represents fertility. She will help the women in their mature age. To me, it almost seemed like Egyptian hieroglyphics, Michael said. Now here, Michael is saying that by seeing these all things, it is looking like Egyptian hieroglyphics. See, Egyptian hieroglyphics is the what we call concept where olden things and the early people, how they used to live, everything they read and made a notes as a Egyptian hieroglyphics. Okay, children. Now, in a sense, yes, maybe at one point of time it was used for communication and for transmission of folk faith. Vishwas agreed. So yes, you are right, but at one part of time it is used in that way. They moved from one hut to hut and found that the paintings were more or less same. So they were just moving in the whatever the displayed all the huts were. All the huts were somewhat same and somewhere it was different. Then in these modern times, when the younger generation moves out, what will happen to their art? What will be its future? Junaita asked. Now Junaita is asking, in this generation, in the fast generation, what if the tribal people, children are moving out from this tribe area or from their cultures and all, if they are going out to study and all, who is going to preserve this art form? Now, till the 1970s, this kind of painting was done by the women folk, a group of women. But as I said earlier, it was done only on special occasions. It was done by a woman and it is done only on the special occasions. So there was very chance for this art to die out. So there are a lot of chances that this art is going to die because no one is taking much interest. Every day they are not doing, right? Then a man by the name Jivya Soma Mashe and his son Balu Mashe took up Warli painting purely for the love of this art. Then only they saw one man and his son came up and they started putting the painting on the wall. Is there anything being done to protect this art form? Michael asked. So he is asking, can we protect? There is any chance of protecting this art? They have patented this art form, Vikas informed. It is actually a cultural intellectual property of the Warli tribe. The Adivasi Yuva Sena Sangh and the Warli Art Foundation are associated with the art form and various related activities. So this art form is patented. Patented means they will selling, okay? They will put it on a sale, a kind of a what we call a particular thing which is also have its background and its foundation, where money has to be deposited for that kind, to preserve that kind of particular thing. That's not a problem. Now, where can we buy something with Warli art on it? Junaita asked. We would like to keep something for memory's sake. Now, Junaita was telling, when we go back to our country, we wanted to take something which is done by the Warli people, the painting and all, from where we can buy the things. Now, that's not a problem. As a lot of commercialization is happening, the art form too has adapted to modern times. Many designers are using the unique Warli art on their clothes. We can buy them in various shops. Skirts, shirts, blouses and even shawls have the Warli prints on them, Vishwas said. When Junaita asked, I wanted to take something, so Vishwas said that you can find on many things. There are many shops here where on the clothes the print is printed. That's wonderful. Please take us there. Now Michael is telling, please take us to that shop. We wanted to buy that thing. Before we leave, can we take some photographs with these artists? Junaita asked. Why not? They'll be pleased to pose for you, Vishwas laughed. Now Junaita asked, before we move from this place, can we take one photograph with this artist? So Vishwas is saying, why not? They will be very happy to pose for you. Pose means what, children? Giving a pose to the camera. Thus, Michael and Junaita made memories with the artist of the Warli tribe. Now, Junaita and Michael made lots of memories with the Warli tribe. They stayed there for some more time. They spent the time and they looked some more closely to whatever day-to-day activities, whatever those guys were up to. The visit to see the work of these unique tribesmen was truly an enriching experience for them. So the great work from these Warli tribe was really informative for these two people. We have a lot of things to everyone when we get back to home, to America, Michael said. Now they have purchased many gifts for the people or for the friends and family who used to live in America, because these guys have come from America. Thank you. If you can make a small donation towards the protection and welfare of these artists, they would be grateful, Vishwas said softly. Now when they were telling that we got the gifts and it was really great visiting this place, now Vishwas said it will be more grateful if you guys donate some money for these people. Now we will be happy to do that, Junaita said. So why not? We are going to donate the money. On the way back, they bought many things with Warli prints as gifts to give to friends and relatives back home in America. Really, it was really interesting, children. See here, you can see that Junaita and Michael and his Vishwas, how he is explaining about the hut. You can see that these huts are made up of with red mud, that is earthen, and the paintings and whatever the prints which are done on the walls. Okay, I hope you guys understood and enjoyed the lesson. In the next class we will be writing the notes. Okay children, bye bye.